男士的这个心中呢，就是入这个难木，女士的心中呢，就是入这个女木，然后这个孩童的心中呢，就是入这个独角贵啊。
Padmasambhava once said that with his prediction in a future time in the mind of the Tibetans, within the mind of the male there enters the male Maras, and in the mind of the females enters the female Maras, and in the minds of the children enters into a spirit, the evil spirit. At different stages, there are different Maras that could control them or have powers over them. Well, that reminds me around the time of in the 50s or 60s. That was a very special period of time. In many different monasteries in Tibet, different kinds of destructive actions, such as destroying the Buddha statues and destroying the monasteries. Majority of them were done by ourselves, the Tibetans, and there were even people who had faith before. Their minds were completely under the force of Maras. Even people who had good practice, who had good characters and personalities, and who had beautiful outlooks or beautiful appearances, none of them really work. But people were all under the power or the force of Mara. There is no freedom, no autonomy to themselves. They have no way to control themselves. At that time, if they can all chant the Padmasambhava mantra, then that would be really wonderful. All of these Maras would be subjugated. Pontsokpa Rinpoche once talked about the pithy instructions given by Mipa Rinpoche. Around the time of the first Dudrum Rinpoche, there was a person who said he had already attained full enlightenment. His name was Vajra Guru Mantra, and he said that he had already attained full enlightenment and told everyone that he was a Buddha. Because he thought he could fly, he jumped off from the roof of the house and got really hurt. And then later, the first Dudrum Rinpoche told him that, well, you didn't attain realization, rather you are deluded right now, you have confused thoughts. This person, however, thought that, oh, this Lama is jealous of my attainment, thinks that I have already surpassed him. So he went to Jayang Khyentse Wangpo and said that, well, what do you think? I think I attained realization. What do you think? And Jayang Khyentse Wangpo said, well, I think you're right, but I need to test it. In order to test it, you need to finish chanting 100 million times of 10 million times of Padmasambhava mantra. After you finish chanting it, then I can sign your certificate. Right after the time he finished chanting the 10 million times of Padmasambhava mantra, he had a dream that he was falling from space and fell on the ground. Rather, a monastic in his dream fell on the ground, and after that he had no delusion that he was completely enlightened. So in our daily life, in the worldly life, or in the practitioner's life, we encounter all kinds of forces, all kinds of demonic forces. And at that time, we should then chant the Vajra Guru Mantra. Sometimes when I encounter obstacles, I'm not afraid of them, but I would definitely chant the Vajra Guru Mantra. And sometimes I would also contribute as an offering to ask the Sangha to chant as well. Some of the wrathful forms of Vajra Guru, such as the red one that Ponso Rinpoche reviewed from the Taksang cave, I would place it right on top of my pillow, and then after 2 or 3 days, I really feel that the blessings are indeed true. I have no doubt of that. In this dark age, especially when the Maras, the forces of Maras, are going rampant and unstoppable sometimes, I prefer to chant the Vajra Guru Mantra, especially when I feel that, well, it's probably just too compassionate if I chant the mantra of Manjushri or the mantra of Avalokiteshvara. So it's probably better for me to chant something that's more powerful, which is the Vajra Guru Mantra, because his mantra has so much power to subjugating and to overcome those obstacles. In our life, on the path of practice, we may encounter all kinds of obstacles. So at that time, we need to use the image of Padmasambhava and then use the mantra of Padmasambhava, just as when a thief is stealing, if we were to have the police over, then the thief would definitely run away. Similarly, there are different kinds of balances of powers within this world. If we have one power too strong, then we need to have the other power to balance it, and that is the wisdom of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. On top of that, Padmasambhava is really of no difference to Shakyamuni Buddha, and Padmasambhava has the power to subjugating the forces of Maras. Well, if you don't believe it, it's okay. We didn't ask you to pay for any tuition for this class, but it's the best for you to practice it and see if it works. Now let's see, Om Mahom Benza Guru Padmasambhava. Om Mahom is the accomplishment of enlightened body, speech, and mind. By Vajra, the accomplishments of peaceful and wrathful deities are attained. By Guru, the accomplishments of awareness holder lamas are attained. By Padma, the accomplishments of the Dakinis and Dharma protectors are attained. By Siddhi, the supreme and common accomplishments are attained. By whom, whatever accomplishments you wish for is attained. Now we have lots of wishes nowadays, and we want to have our wishes accomplished. So over here, siddhi is accomplishment. If you want to attain whatever kinds of accomplishments, for example, wealth, food, clothing, fame, whatever is temporary or ultimate siddhis can be obtained, because the Vajra Guru Mantra is like the wish-fulfilling jewel. Whatever you wish for, you will be able to gain it. Om Ahom Benza Guru Padmasambhava. Om Ahom transfers one to the primordial pure realm. Vajra transfers one to the eastern Buddha field of manifested joy. Guru transfers one to the southern Buddha field of glory. Padma transfers one to the western Buddha field of bliss. Siddhi transfers one to the northern Buddha field of all accomplishing actions, and Hom transfers one to the central Buddha field of immutability. Now, for those of you who chant Amitabha mantra, if you chant the mantra of Vajra Guru, you will also be able to be reborn in Sukhavati. Or if you want to be reborn in the eastern Buddha field of manifest joy, then if you chant this mantra would definitely be able to help you to be reborn wherever you wish to be reborn to. And then Om Benza Guru Padmasambhava. Om Mahom. By Om Mahom, the level of the three kayas awareness holder is attained. By Vajra, the level dwelling awareness holder is attained. By Guru, the level of immortal life awareness holder is attained. By Padma, the level of the great seal awareness holder is attained. By Siddhi, the level of spontaneous presence awareness holder is attained. By Hom, the level of fully ripened awareness holder is attained. For those of you who studied Giragaba Tantra then you would understand what awareness is. Awareness holder is Vidyadhara, the one that is holding awareness. This is taught by different schools, all the way between the first to the 10th bhumis. When we have the the Vidyadhara Dharma assembly, there are the practices that we would, the practices that we have to specifically practice to attain such realization. Now, in terms of the immortal life awareness holder, that is of the there are different levels of it, or different levels of it that could be attained. For example, the fruition of such Vidyadhara is awareness holder is of the mundane, and then there is the path of seeing, and then path of practice, and so on. Now, Guru Padmasambhava, if you were to recite once, the Vajra Guru Mantra will grant you a physical body and entry into this world. Any sentient being who sees, hears, or thinks the mantra will definitely be established among the ranks of the male and female awareness holders. If we can practice altogether the mantra, then such merit would be so vast. For example, we talked about how the qualities and merits of taking refuge is vast, and then such qualities and merits of generating aspiration is difficult to be contained in this world. Similarly, the merits of chanting mantras is completely unfathomable, that cannot be filled in this world. And then the infallible, this is taught by the infallible Vajra Guru Mantra, is the word of truth. If what you wish for does not happen as I have promised, I, Padma, have deceived sentient beings. Absurd. Whatever the Vajra Guru had stated, Padmasambhava had stated, is the speech of truth. He would not deceive the sentient beings. Padmasambhava says that I speak only the truth, and I would not deceive sentient beings. I have not deceived you. It will happen just as I've promised. That is why the later generation, that is us, we need to practice what Padmasambhava had taught. We need to practice the mantra of Padmasambhava. I really hope many of you, I know that you want to chant, I know many of you who would chant 10 million times of mantras every year. Some of the lay practitioners are indeed very good. So this time I really wish that I can encourage you more to chant the mantra of Padmasambhava. Some of the Dharma practitioners, our fellow Sangha members, would chant 108 times of Padmasambhava mantra and continuously chant it for 12 or 20 years even. Some would chant 21 times of the 100 syllabus mantra, and some would chant other mantras. In fact, if you can chant 1,000 times every day, 100 times every day for 100 days, you would accumulate over 10,000 or 100,000.